When I was 12, my mother first started trusting me to stay home alone. We lived in a small, quiet town. Quiet streets, spacious yards, friendly neighbors, and a cozy center with shops and cafes. It was a place where you could walk around in the evening without fear. That's why my parents decided to leave me alone. That evening, on their day off, they left, leaving me money for pizza. For a 12-year-old, it was the perfect scenario. An empty house, video games, and my favorite food. I was obsessed with James Bond games at the time and was playing Nightfire on PS2 for the third time. When I finished the game, I decided to order pizza from our favorite place, Gianni's. I needed 3 slices, and my mom told me to wrap the leftovers in foil and put them in the fridge. As I was going downstairs with a 20 in my hand, I heard the doorbell ring. The delivery guy looked scruffy, a long, dirty beard, glasses, a black cap. I gave him the money and asked for change. But he suddenly looked over my shoulder and asked, "Are you alone here?" That question sounded nasty. I remembered that my parents had always taught me not to trust strangers, so I lied and said that my parents would be back soon. I could see the doubt in his eyes. There were no cars in the yard, and it was clear that a child had opened the door instead of an adult. I closed the door, ate, cleaned up the leftovers, and went back upstairs to play another game. A few hours passed, and around 11 o'clock, the doorbell rang again. Thinking it was my parents, I ran to the door and shouted, "Mom, Dad?" But instead of a familiar voice, I heard a strange man's voice. "Hey, I need help. Can I use the phone?" I froze. I asked, "Who is this?" And he repeated his request. I didn't dare look out the window. It was too scary. I went upstairs, but then I heard a knock and a voice. "Wait, please, I really need help." He could see me through the glass in the top of the door. I noticed the dark silhouette of his head and realized that he was looking straight at me. So I ran into my parents' room. There was a landline phone there, and I immediately called my mom. At first, she answered in a sleepy voice, but after I told her what had happened, she instantly sobered up. When I told her that the man knew I was home, we both realized it was the delivery man. My mom told me to lock myself in their bedroom and wait for the police. I stayed on the line while my mom and dad called the police from the second phone. Then I heard a quiet creak. Someone had opened the gate and entered the yard. My mom told me to freeze and not make a sound. But soon I heard footsteps downstairs. Someone was already inside. I whispered to her and heard her shout into the phone to the police, "He's already in the house." My heart was pounding. I hid under the bed. A minute later, footsteps reached our door. The handle jerked, the lock held. Several attempts, a light knock, and silence. Then the footsteps receded downstairs. I lay there, afraid to even breathe, until my mother said the police had arrived. A few seconds later, I heard heavy footsteps and the loud voice of an officer. They only opened the door when they came upstairs. There was an open window downstairs. That's how he got into the house. Later, my parents assured me that it was the same delivery guy. We even went to the pizzeria, but the manager denied everything, and the delivery guy, Phil, never showed up that evening. For a long time after that, my parents were afraid to leave me alone, and although no evidence was found, I am still convinced that it was him.